everyone, welcome back to my kombucha channel. My name's Liz. This is the second video in a 7-part series I'm doing for beginners on how to make kombucha. In this video I'm going to show you how to steep your tea. So I use two different teas. I use tea bags or I use loose tea. To use tea bags and to make my life simple, I put the tea bags in the jar with the sugar. So my recipe is for a half gallon, which is just a half gallon mason jar, I use 3/4 cup of sugar and 4 to 5 tea bags. And I go back and forth. Sometimes I use 4, sometimes I use 5. So if you're making a gallon of kombucha, you would just double that. So these jars over here that I have are 1 gallon jars. I use 10 tea bags, 8 to 10 tea bags, and a cup and a half of sugar to steep your tea. I don't know if you can see it, but I have 4 tea bags in here. I have some just boiled water. I'm gonna fill it enough to cover all the tea bags and the sugar, and then just swirl it around so that the sugar dissolves. Most tea packages come with instructions on how long to steep. Different teas require different times. Swirl around so that all the sugar is dissolved, and I'm going to let this sit for about 5 minutes. If you like to use loose tea, you can go ahead and do that with a French press. For a half gallon of kombucha, I like to use 10 grams. So I have some hibiscus tea here that I'm going to measure out. Steep time on this is 3 minutes. If you want to use loose tea but you don't have a French press, despair not, my friend. I've got you covered. You can just put your tea into any glass jar, add your hot water, and then once it's done seeping, pour it through the mesh strainer. Make sure you have something underneath. Press down, voila, there you go. Just keep in mind that if you're not using a jar that's marked, keep track of how much liquid you're adding. So it's been about 5 minutes for my black tea. I'm going to go ahead and strain this and I'll be right back. So I've removed the tea bags and I filled the jar up the rest of the way with room temperature water. So now the sugar and tea that was hot is at a much better temperature to add the SCOBY. 3 or 4 minutes have passed. My hibiscus tea is ready. So I'm going to go ahead and add it to a jar. And when I use loose tea, I still like to strain it because sometimes pieces will come out through the French press. There you go. So I have my tea in there. I'm going to go ahead and add my sugar. Once that's dissolved, I'm going to fill it up to 6.5 cups of water, and then we'll go ahead and add the SCOBY. So I'll see you in the next video.